Hey guys, welcome to lesson number 2 of 3, where we're working on improving the independence of our left hand and the creativity of the parts that we write by being able to use the left hand in more ways. In the last lesson, we worked on things that were a little bit simpler as far as the pattern's concerned, but we played everything in odd bars to help keep things interesting. Today, everything's going to be in 4/4, but most of the exercises we do are going to be 2 measures long. And as we go along, they're going to get a little bit more complicated, a little bit more dense. Okay, so let's get to it. Last time when we left off, we started using the left hand in toms as part of the beats, not fills, but as part of the beat. We're going to continue with that with the first 2 exercises today. So for this first pattern here, you'll see that, like I was saying, this one's in 4/4. It's 2 measures long. Most of it is just kind of like a straight raw kind of funky groove going on. But we throw in tom 2, tom 4 together on 2 beats in the start of the second measure. And that kind of gives a very different feel to it when you do that. For exercise number 2, this is actually the only lesson today that is just 1 measure long, but it is still kind of interesting. You'll see that the left hand is moving around where in the beat it's landing, and the bass drum is kind of moving a little bit kind of opposing to it. So you'll have to work out this kind of feel where you're going to have to be landing the left hand and the bass drum at different times relative to each other. Okay, so now we're going to change things up quite a bit. In the last lesson that we did in part 1, we had done some exercises where we did 2 hands on the ride or 2 hands on the hi-hat, where we occasionally bring it in and out. This time, we're going to do the right hand on the ride and the left hand on the hi-hat. So we're going to have 2 different cymbals going. Now you can see from this exercise, we're basically doing straight 16th notes. And then on beat 3 of both measures, the right hand's going to come in from the ride to the snare. Now we're not going to break up that pattern of right, left, right, left. That's going to go constant. We're just going to move the hand back and forth. Bass drum is very simple on this one, but don't just brush this off, because the next set of exercises in today's lesson, they're all going to build on top of this. One piece of advice when you're doing this sort of thing, when you're doing the right hand on the ride and the hi-hat, I highly recommend keeping the stick, right, playing on the top of the hat and not on the side. The reason why is that I find that if I'm playing on the top of the ride and on the side of the hi-hat, that the hi-hat might become, especially if I'm recording, too loud in the mix. It'll be louder than the ride, and then instead of getting this kind of like solid downbeat from the ride, it's almost kind of like this weird 16th note upbeat because of how loud the hi-hat is. So like I said, be careful and try to play on the top of the hi-hat. Okay, so exercise number 4. Like I said, it's going to build on top of what we had before. So measure 1 here is going to be basically exactly the same, but when we get to measure 2, that last quarter note, instead of doing the 16th notes between the hi-hat and the ride, we're going to do a Z roll, like a buzz roll. This is kind of like a press roll, but usually a press roll is with one hand. This is going to be played as if it was a double stroke roll, but instead of doing double strokes, we're basically pressing in to get as much hits as we can. One word of advice, since this is the first exercise where we're bringing that left hand in from the hi-hat to the snare, you're going to want to make sure that you're careful on that last hi-hat hit before you come in. And remember, we're trying to play on the top of the hat so that we're not making that hit too loud. Sometimes you'll come in too sharp and accidentally hit the side on that last hit before you bring your left hand in. So again, just be very careful on that motion going between the hat and the snare with your left hand. So I hope you like a lot of double bass because exercise 5 is going to have a lot of it. Just like before, how we were doing straight 16th notes with the hands, now we're going to also start doing straight 16th notes with the bass drum. Snare is going to land on 2 and 4 of both measures, but on beat 4 of measure 2, the left hand's going to come in. So just again, be careful, make sure you don't accidentally hit the side of the hat when you're doing that. Okay, so for this last exercise today, we are going to build on what we just did. We're going to bring the left hand into the snare a lot more, you'll see. There is one spot where we change where it lands, where within the quarter note it's landing. If that throws you off, just, slow it down a little bit and you'll have it in no time. So I hope you guys found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. Like I said, this is video 2 of 3 on left hand independence and creativity. If you haven't watched the video for lesson 1 yet, well, jump down to the description below. The link to it's going to be in there. I recommend you check it out. For lesson number 3, we're going to be taking things up a notch. They're going to get more complicated, more advanced. So I hope you got the exercises from these first 2 lessons under your belt. And when the video for lesson 3 comes out, it's going to be available for you to click on right up here. And if you don't want to miss out on getting the notification for that or for any of my other lesson videos or gear review videos or any of that good stuff, then don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace.